I was in Darwin speaking at my former high school, and this kid came up to me, and he was about 14 years old, and he said, "AJ, I love what you say. You're amazing. Can I have a job?" I was like, "Nah." And he goes, "Well, can I get a photo?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, I'll take the photo." So he stood next to me, we took this photo. And that was a pivotal moment for me, because that photo changed my life and changed his life too. So a few months later down the track, this guy's teacher rings me up and says, "Hey, listen, do you remember Robert?" I was like, "No, who's Robert?" "That kid you took the photo with." "Oh yeah, I remember him. He's failing school and all he wants to do is get a job. He's 15 years old and he can't get a job in IT. No one will give him a chance. Do you have anything for him?" I said, "No, but you know what? I remember this kid. I'm going to go chat to him." And I go meet up with Robert and I say, "What's your problem, man? You don't look like the dumbest kid around. Why are you struggling at school?" And he said, "Well, it's like this, AJ. For maths, they take me out to the beach and they give me a compass and a map and they ask me to find my way back into the classroom." And I say, "Why are you struggling with that?" He's like, "For the last 6 years, I've been in junior police rangers where they drop me in the forest and get me to find my way back to camp." And instantly, I knew what the problem was. The traditional education system is not keeping up to his actual ability. And he's bored. He's labeled a disengaged student, a D student, a delinquent. And he's failing school because of that. He's being punished because he's smarter than what he's being taught. That fundamental problem appears everywhere in society today. Everywhere in society today. And it doesn't need to be like that. That's why this work as an entrepreneur is so important. To develop your entrepreneurial mind, that's the only way forward. Given the world of disruption and change, everything you know as life today is going to change. Very simple like that. Fast forward a bit later. So Robert comes to work for me. I give him a chance and he builds my training center. We go on to train 160 business owners. Everything's cool. The guy's about 16 now and his last day working with me. And he says, and he's got to go back to school, right? So I say to him, "You know, champ, you seem a little bit down." He goes, "Yeah, AJ, I would like to let you know that I would like to continue working with you." And I was like, "Sorry, man, can't do it. Back to school." Oh. So he went back to school, starts failing, right? I'm like, teacher rings up, "Come on board again." You know, so I'm like, "All right, come on board," right? But this time it's a different Robert. Now he's cocky. He thinks he's all that. Because whatever reasons. I built a training center with a cool guy, you know, whatever. So I fired him, right? Got rid of him. I don't have time for that. I don't like that attitude. And he disappears, right? Then I see this tweet 6 months down the track and he goes, "You know what? This tweet said, I used to work for one of the greatest business leaders that I've ever met, and I never understood what he was talking about. Now I do. Thank you, AJ." So I was like, "Ah, cool, sweet." Then he comes to see me. He's about 16 and a half now. He comes to see me, and he says, I say to him, "Hey, champ, how's it going?" And he goes, "Yeah, good. I just came to tell you something." I'm like, "What do you want to tell me?" And he's like, "I just signed my 100th client." And I was like, "What? How did you sign 100 clients?" And he goes, "Well, funny story. You know how," we're all friends here, so I'll tell you. He smokes. And one day, he went to buy his cigarettes from the service station. And they couldn't sell it to him. Not because he's underage, but because his machines were down. And he couldn't actually sell it to him. Now, Robert's in IT. So what he did was he fixed the machine. And he bought his cigarettes. A couple of days later, he goes back again. And the service station says, "Hey, you know that problem that I had? That bakery in the shopping center has that same problem. Maybe you'd like to go and talk to them." He's like, "Okay." So he goes and he fixes every single shop with this FPOS system in the place, and he signs 100 clients. And I thought, my God, this is amazing. Fast forward a few years. Now he's about 18 years old. I catch up with him for lunch. And while the phone is on the desk, right, it keeps buzzing. I'm like, "What's going on, man? You got some girlfriends or what?" He goes, "Nah, man, they're clients." I'm like, "Clients? I thought, you know, your business manager was handling them." Nah, this is a new business." I'm like, "What? New business? What the hell?" You know? And he goes, "Yeah, you know, stupid me broke my phone. And then I went to the shopping center to get it fixed. And they were going to charge me $300. I don't have $300, man. I'm just 18. So I jumped on eBay and I found a kit for like $100 and I fixed my phone. And then stupid me put it on Facebook. And now I've got all these people wanting me to fix their phone. It's annoying." And I said, "All right, champ, well, okay, you're making some money out of it?" He goes, "Yeah, about $2,000. I said, $2,000, is that like a month? He goes, "No, about a week." And I'm like, "Is that profit or revenue?" And he goes, "What's the difference?" Fast forward now, right? Fast forward a few years later. Now he's about 20 years old. I say to him, Champ, what are you doing? He's like, I'm off to South Korea. I'm like, why are you going to South Korea? He goes, AJ, there's the world's seminar or world's expo of electronic games, e-games, right? And AJ, that's a $30 billion industry. If I could just get a slice of that, I'd be laughing. I'm like, cool, Champ, great, no worries, good luck. Few months later, I get a phone call from Robert, and he knows not to ring me because I don't do phone calls, right? So I know it's a pretty big deal. So he rings me up, and I chat to him, and I said, hey, what's going on, Champ? And he goes, listen, I'm going through a lot of terrible trouble, and I've got pressure from my girlfriend now, and I have to give up, and I have to get a job. And I just really wanted to let you know because I didn't want to let you down. And I was like, Champ, you know what? You ain't letting me down, you know, because entrepreneurs do whatever it takes to get stuff done. So if you want to get a job or you need to get a job, you have my blessing, brother. I always got your back. Go do amazing things. He goes, thank you so much. So a few months later, I catch up with Robert, and I say to him, how's the job going? And he goes, well, funny story. And I say, what? And he goes, well, you remember the thing you said about entrepreneurs do whatever it takes? And I said, yeah. He goes, well, I had a look at my business and I realized that it has value in there. So I actually ended up selling it. I'm like, what? So what are you doing now? What are you doing now? And he goes, yeah, funny story. The people I sold it to, they don't know how to run it. So they hired me back as a CEO. 21-year-old CEOs. And I share that story with each and every one of you because here is a kid who knew nothing, but he had a deep desire to do amazing things. And no one would give him a chance. I gave him a chance because I used to be that kid. And together we did amazing things, which is a story for another time. But the reason why I tell you that story is all of us here in the room today, we're like Robert. We have ideas, we have beliefs, we have circumstances, we have challenges. But anything is possible if you think like an entrepreneur. And that is what I want to leave you with today.